I've just been directed to an interesting piece in The Spectator, which is talking about the same subject I was talking about, Nigel Farage holding um, a press conference in the Reform Club. And the Reform Club apparently has said that it's not. It wasn't in the Reform Club, it was in the next door uh, Horse Guards Hotel. Well, I happen to know that Farage was definitely entered the Liberal Club, and that the conference, even if technically it might have been under the control of Horse Guards Hotel, that it took place in the third floor of the Liberal Club. The statement issued by the Liberal Club is: the Reform UK political party held a conference on the 27th of May at the Horse Guards Hotel, which we were fully aware of in advance, and we implemented plans that ensured participants attending did not have to access any of the National Liberal Club areas. We wish to clarify for members that the press conference was not held within the National Liberal Club. The space used was fully under the control of Horse Guards Hotel, and there is no connection between the National Liberal Club and the Reform UK press conference or its content. It may have been controlled by Horse Guards Hotel, but it was definitely on Liberal Club premises. And I know a number of people who were inconvenienced in signing in to the Liberal Club on that day because Nigel Farage was trying to elbow into the area. So I just want to make that as clear as possible, because I don't want there to be any suggestion that I'm picking up a story which isn't which isn't correct. As for the idea that Farage is fully committed to his constituency in Clacton, that again is not a concept scotched by the idea or by the claim that he's bought a house in Clacton. Let's quote the wit of an anonymous local official who surveyed the political landscape in Kent and muttered, "It's not that they don't know what they're doing, it's that they didn't expect to win." And therein lies the calamity of the whole Reform UK project. In May's local elections, Reform UK surged. 9 councils under full control, 3 more under partial leadership, a remarkable result, but not, it seems, the one they were remotely prepared for, because since then, across these 12 reform-led councils, key meetings have simply not happened. 33 cancelled or postponed within 9 weeks, and the majority of these councils, reform councillors, didn't even attend the first meetings they were eligible for. The leaders of the supposed anti-establishment renaissance have vanished. Why? Because they're taking a leaf out of their leader's book. Not just vanished physically, but vanished from responsibility, from readiness, from reality. Take Kent and Nottinghamshire as exemplars of this farce. In Kent, nearly half of the scheduled meetings were cancelled, including legally required governance committees. Meetings mandated by law simply didn't take place because of Reform UK. In Nottinghamshire, it's the same story. The Ethics Committee, the Scrutiny Committee, abandoned because Reform UK weren't there. The people elected to office weren't there. A government in miniature, absent from its own rehearsal. Now, what happened to the promise that Reform UK would fix broken councils? Instead of fixing potholes, they're digging holes in competence, in credibility, in civic trust. In Lincolnshire, they went one better. They did turn up, and they voted to scrap the flooding committee in one of the most flood-prone areas of the country. That's not just negligence, it's parody masquerading as policy. Of course, the issue is not just local. Their leader, Farage, is the spiritual father of this absentee culture, a man who has always preferred the microphone to the chamber. Since becoming MP for Clacton, he's already missed key Commons debates, skipped scrutiny on the Brexit reset, embarked on multiple overseas jaunts, including 60,000 worth of US political tourism, much of it funded by donors, apparently, allegedly. Farage is now so often abroad or on GB News that a minister rightly called him a commentator rather than a parliamentarian. One critic recently said he was an emperor without clothes, an observation that would sting were it not so thoroughly accurate. Even his party's deputy had to chuckle when Starmer observed that Farage was the first through the e-gates in France during the Commons session on Brexit. It's becoming increasingly obvious, actually it wasn't during the Commons sessions on Brexit, it was actually during PMQs. Reform UK is not a party with a programme, it's a brand with a broadcast schedule. Its MPs don't attend Parliament, its councillors don't attend councils. It's a politics of pure performance, all podium, all no policy, all slogans, no strategy, all skirt, no knickers. Now, you might say, perhaps they need time to prepare. That's the current excuse, but well, it's good enough for Kemi Badenoch. Why is it not good enough for every single Reform member? But I don't think it would do. They stood for office, they stood for power. They've had years to formulate plans. If you apply for a job and you get it, you don't ask to delay your start date while you prepare your CV, while you massage your CV. Rachel Reeves didn't ask that. She gave in her CV as it stood. You show up, you work, you lead, and if you can't, you stand aside. And this all raises a grave warning for the future. How many people have stood aside? I think it's 28. A grave warning for the future. If Reform UK can win control of a dozen councils without functioning apparatus, apparently, what happens when they send 30 or 40 MPs to Westminster, or 300? How many of those will actually do the job? How many of those will actually represent the people who voted for them? That's what we've got in Britain. That's what our representative democracy is there for. We vote somebody in who is going to represent our interests. We delegate our thought patterns to them. We say, you do the thinking, you do the voting, you take the responsibility. So we expect them to turn up. We expect them to do something. Are we truly ready to be governed by people who, by their own admission, do not know what they're doing and don't bother to turn up and find out? Some Reform supporters say, give them a break, it's only been a few weeks. Well, they've had enough time to produce glossy manifestos and attack ads. They did all that during the election campaign. They had time to rage against the system then. What they don't have time for, or rather interest in, is the responsibility that comes with actual power. And that is the difference between populism and politics. So beware of the party of protest when it becomes the party of government. Beware of the party of protest when it actually gets its hands on real power. For now we laugh, but when those who said we'll fix the system can't even fill a committee room, the joke is no longer funny. Because there's nobody there to laugh at it.